T here. I am going to walk through a presentation that will help you fill out these guided notes. Before I get you started on that, I will go ahead and show you how to zoom in, because if you have these guided notes open and you're probably trying to read what it says and you're going to email us and be like, I can't read it. So press this little zoom button, click a couple of times in the page, and it will zoom in there. You do have to unclick this yellow zoom button in order for you to click around, but that will help you be able to actually read it and type it without straining your little eyes. So I'm going to go through the presentation while you fill out the notes. Remember, this is not live in a classroom. You can pause this recording at any point in time. You can go back. So I am going to crank through it for the sake of not spending a lot of time pausing. If you don't need a pause, like, keep going. If you do need a pause, press pause, like, live your life. So we're going to start here. Topic number 1, second topic, third topic. 1, 2, and 3 talks about these topics. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to read the topic. I'm going to pause for a second. If you need more time, press pause and come back to it when you're ready. But you're just going to jot down your initial thoughts on these topics. I don't want a yes or no answer. That's lazy. Let's do better than that. Let's talk about actually, like, why yes or why no. Say a little bit more. I'm not asking for a paragraph. I'm asking for a sentence, a full sentence of your thoughts. Topic number 1. Should schools stop buying textbooks and instead spend their funds on electronic sources and educational tools? Okay. Again, if you need to pause here so you can jot down your thoughts, press pause, come back to it when you're ready. Number 2, should the sale of energy drinks such as Monster and Red Bull be prohibited to people under age 18? That would mean that you, 14, 15, would not be allowed to have them. So are there benefits to that? Write your thoughts. Come back when you're ready. Third topic, should colleges stop using standardized tests such as the SAT and ACT as part of their admissions process? I know a lot of you have firm feelings on this topic, so this is a good place for you to go ahead and jot some of those ideas on the page. Okay, again, come back to it when you're ready. Pause as long as you need to. I've got to make it through all of this nonsense mess. All right, so moving down to number 4 on your guided notes. Oopsie. And down here, the 4 elements that are needed in order to make a good argument are your claim, your reasons, your evidence, and your counterclaim. Okay? The claim, more specifically, is your stance on an issue. It is an issue that is either yes or no, or pro or con, or something like that, and it is where you fall on that spectrum. It needs to be bold. That doesn't mean in bold font. It means a strong, informed stance. You are strong in your opinion, and your opinion is clear. It needs to be something that 2 reasonable people could have an argument about. Reasonable here means that these people can see each other's points of view. It means that they are not so firm in their own stance that they cannot even hear out the opponent. It is someone who is firm in their opinion, but they're also willing to hear other people's opinions. We don't get a ton of that these days. And then it's also something that we would call a thesis. You'll probably hear that from time to time, something about your thesis statement. Okay? Your reasons are your main ideas or points that lead you to your claims. So, body paragraphs, each body paragraph will have its own reason or point that you would be arguing or clarifying. Okay? Think of these as large areas. Okay? Historical precedent, personal experience, ethical considerations, or financial effects. So yesterday I posted in Google Classroom that when I was talking about my stance that people should adopt from shelters instead of go to breeders, one of mine was the financial effects, because there are long-term vet bills that go along with buying dogs that have been inbred over time. There's also upfront costs. So that would fall under the financial effects, meaning that it would qualify as this pretty strong body paragraph. Okay, your evidence are your facts that support your claim. This is research, data, statistics from reliable sources. We'll talk about reliable sources later on in the week. You'll see a screencast from Mr. Ash where he talks about which websites you can trust versus which websites maybe you should double check their sources because they may be biased or something. I don't know, who cares? Okay, be sure to explain to your reader how the evidence proves your point. So you can't just throw some quote in there and call it a day. You need to tell me why that quote proves that your opinion is the more informed one or is the correct one, okay? It's not just enough to list data and facts. You need to actually bring it together with your argument. Now, counterclaim is something we haven't gotten into a lot, but counterclaim is something that will always make an argument stronger. If you can bring in the opposing point of view and say, well, my opponents would say, this is why you should buy from breeders. However, they're wrong because blah, blah, blah. Then you are technically using the argument of your opponent in order to strengthen your own side of the argument. It is a great ploy to use in your argument. It shows that you are smart. It shows that you have thought deeply about your issue because you are acknowledging the opposition, because you are bringing in the other side of the argument. It shows that you're not one-sided and you're not listening to the other side of the argument. Take them down. Ignore that. All right, so you're going to come down in your, oh gosh, okay, ignore. You know I'm going to have technical difficulties. We've met. You're going to come down to number 10, where it talks about the two places that you can put your counterclaim in your argument, and you're actually physically going to move these boxes around to show I would put it here, I would put it there. Okay, so you're actually going to move the boxes where you think that they belong based on this information here. There are two ways that you can do it, but first, blah, 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 your counterclaim should not be more than a sentence, maximum 2 sentences. The point of bringing in your opposition is to make your own argument stronger, not to spend so much time talking about the opposing argument that you actually give that argument credence. So, only bring in the opposing argument long enough to strengthen your own. Don't give them more than a sentence or two because you're arguing the opposite and you don't want to make their side stronger. Okay? So you can start with the approach of putting your counterclaim at the very end. So you have written your essay about adopting dogs, and you have body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, and they talk about financial aspects and ethical decisions and blah. Then your third body paragraph is where you would actually maybe bring in your counterclaim at the very beginning and say, opponents would say that buying from breeders is a good idea because you know where your dogs come from, or some, I can't even think of an argument for that side, but you would give them a sentence and then go back to your own argument. Okay, so that would be the strength of putting it in body paragraph 3. The other option is to start body paragraphs 1 and 2 with counterclaims. Of course, if you choose this method, that means you have to know of 2 counterclaims. So it depends on how much work you want to do, but this is also an option. And I think having more counterclaims would, in theory, make your argument stronger, but it would just take more time. Okay? So that's that. Notice that you have a number 11 here on your guided notes. What I want you to do is click right here and type CT says don't do this or something like that, because this number 11 wants you to read 2 separate essays and determine which one is stronger. And because we're digital, And because we're working from home and because you guys have things going on and because teachers have things, life happens. We don't have time for that. We're going to condense it. We're going to learn it some other way. Don't worry. But for now, I'm not going to make you read 2 separate essays and then talk about them here. So just write, CT says don't do this. And just don't do number 11. Okay? All right. That's that. Bye-bye.